Okay, we just came back from my prenatal appointment and I'm annoyed. As you guys saw in my last video, we had to go to the fetal cardiologist for a fetal echocardiogram for my baby. And you guys heard the doctor said that the baby was fine. There was nothing for concern. There was no need to follow up, etc. When I get to my doctor today, she's asking me if I went to that appointment. I told her yes. And she's like, well, on those images, they saw that your baby's nasal bone is a little bit short, which is a marker for Down syndrome. Now, we went to a pediatric cardiologist. As far as I know, they didn't look at his nose. And it wasn't mentioned after I had my anatomy scan either. And if it was on my anatomy scan, I've been to the doctor twice since then, it should have been mentioned. It wasn't mentioned about anything wrong with his nasal bone up until today. She explains to me that it's a marker for Down syndrome, and then she goes on to say, because I asked her if they had done the testing, the genetic blood work testing for Down syndrome. She said, yeah, they did it. And both of those tests came back negative. But she's encouraging me and urging me that I really should follow up with a specialist because you never know and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I don't get it. If the blood work for both tests came back negative that my baby doesn't have Down syndrome, how can a visit to a fetal heart doctor prompt you to send me to a different specialist for my baby's nasal bone? Like, I don't get that. I feel like they're trying to nickel and dime me. Because I told you guys the last, when I went to one of my last appointments, before I went to the baby heart doctor, I came out with like 5 prescriptions to go to all of these different specialists. This is my 4th kid. It's not my first time around the block. I'm not one of those scary type of moms. And I even told Eric, I'm not going to that appointment. If the child has Down syndrome, there's literally nothing I can do about it now. It's gonna be born. It's too late to abort. So if we have a kid with Down syndrome, we just gonna have a kid with Down syndrome. It ain't nothing we can do about it right now. I hate that fear mongering. For a new mom to hear news like that, or if it's not absolutely necessary, and if you have 2 tests telling you that it's negative, why send me back for another image? Like, I don't even know if my insurance is gonna cover that at this point. I'm not going.
Oh, it is frustrating. Seems like every doctor you go to, they're always out of that appointment up here. They're recommending that you go to some specialist, whether it was with the boys, whether it was with you. Hell, even my doctor that I went to for a physical, they always want to recommend you go to a specialist for this, or it could be that. Like, there's 1,000 things somebody can come up with out of running tests and looking at your charts or whatever. But I've never seen anybody recommend you go to so many specialists in my life. And it's like they know that is nothing, but they want to send you anyway. And then you go to the specialist, and then it turns out to not be anything. I get the precaution, but then in a sense, it becomes like it's too repetitive, or it becomes too much. Like they're purposefully doing it. And like I said, I think it's because they have some kind of deal with these other doctors, and they're paying each other, and they're charging your insurance
and the copay.
It's crazy. I mean, with this, I wasn't at every appointment, but I don't know. This is the first I'm hearing. I'm sure it's the first you're hearing of it too, which is crazy because you're there at each appointment.
I don't know, like if we backtrack to because we've only lived in New Jersey since December of last year. So December 2018. Since we've been here, I've taken Lariah for her full physical for when she turned 11 years old. They wanted to do blood work. I didn't do blood work. I took Langston to the doctor because he peed wrong. His urine came out one morning, it was milky, and he had a fever. They wanted to do blood work and a stool sample for his urine. I didn't do that. It resolved within a couple of days. He was fine. Same thing for Legend. We took Legend to his 9-month appointment, after telling me that my breast milk is inadequate and that I need to be mashing up beans, avocados, and mixing it with omega-3 oils before I feed my baby. They too wanted to do blood work on him, and they wanted a stool sample for him, and there wasn't even anything wrong with him. Now I'm going to my appointments, and it seems like, you know, from my OB, every single time I go to an appointment, I leave with she offered me a prescription today. I told her no thank you. Like I said, I'm not going to that appointment. But it seems like every time I go to my OB, I have a prescription to go see a specialist. Like every single time. And again, this is my 4th kid. I know every kid is different. I'm a different age. There can be complications that come up, but it's redundant at this point. And I really believe that they're just trying to nickel and dime us out of, or nickel and dime the insurance companies, you know, because the copay for me or for the family, the copay for me has been met. So anything else that I have to go to the doctor for, the insurance will cover it at full cost.
And the blood test is 99% accurate.
And the blood test is 99% accurate. So again, I'm not worried about my kids having Down syndrome. There's no one in my family on either side, blood related to me, that has Down syndrome. I'm only 30 years old. Am I 30 and a half? I'm 30 and a half years old. You know, I'm healthy. Like even the damn glucose test was like, oh, you gotta do your glucose test. I was like, I'm not drinking that drink. So, and when I asked the last time I asked if they had alternatives, they said no. When I asked this time, they said yes. So I'll give them that. And I'm a little bit annoyed too because my regular doctor is Dr. Escobar. And since they moved to a new location, like they moved to a nicer building with way better parking, but since they moved, I haven't seen my doctor. I have this new lady, and yes, she's really thorough, but I feel like she's meticulous to the point in UODing. My doctor apologized because she said, I'm sorry for bombarding you with so much information. Like if my test came back negative, there's no reason why you should be telling me that I need to go see a specialist if my blood work came back negative. If the child got a short nose bone, child just got a short nose bone. Like he just gonna have a big nose or a little nose or whatever, but whatever. I'm not going.